Hello, everyone. This is Masunga John, and please listen to the former president of Tanzania, Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, comparing TikTok, with genuine education in raising young world leaders. Please listen.
Ways of grooming its young population. If that will necessarily mean the leaders using TikTok to do that,
And one of the things that we know we are getting the young people is when you talk about technology. I know TikTok and all that doesn't make sense, but this is where we are finding the young people. So how can we use technology to increase participation of the younger people, not just to vote, but also to participate for leadership? And of course, that issue you're talking about generation. And how will the older generation then be able to pass that knowledge in the manner that the young people understand for us to breed a group of young leaders for the future?
It's not an easy question to answer. I think first of all, it is important for every society to find ways of grooming its young population, so that they can become good, responsible, and productive citizens. So if that will necessarily mean leaders using TikTok to do that, but I think we need to have more serious ways. I think the first thing is to make sure that young people get good education. That is what is going to make them become productive citizens. If they are they've got good education, they have the good skills, then they can become productive citizens. And this, again, is a factor or a function of the education system that you have. But that's one. But if it is a question of you only think about mobilizing them for elections, then you could talk of mobile phone messages and so on. But it is much more than that. It is much more than that. How as a nation, and as of course as nations, but more and more so, but the political parties. Because I can take my own personal experience that, well, I've been an activist at school, at university, but what brought me into the mainstream of the national politics is when our party decided that the highest policy making and decision making organ of the party, they should also have young people in it. They should have representation of women, because prior to that, it was just election. Every region elects one person to be a member of the National Executive Committee and the Central Committee. But there was this deliberate decision taken in 1982. Reforms of the party, 1982, and then they decided, let's say 5 seats for young people and 10 seats for women. This is what gave an opportunity for some of us now to move in. Had it not been for that, I would have remained in the barracks, or I would have remained a government official or a party official. And it is through this line that we were able now. I was able to become a member of the National Executive Committee, but also within the youth movement of the party itself. Because I can say through that youth movement, I became president. Anne Makinda became Speaker of the National Assembly. Abdurrahman Kinana became the Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, Minister of Defense. you have so many of those who were in the youth wing of the party, where actually that is where a lot of the grooming and training of young people actually was happening. So that is where you have to lose the methodology. But otherwise, the TikTok thing, and in TikTok there is so much. Some of these actually they're not even worthwhile. They're not even worthwhile. They derail the thinking of young people. Yes, and these days they even preach some of the things that we consider in African culture and traditions as blasphemous, but the Western culture considers them as human rights. So I think we need to do that then. How in the countries you establish youth councils where you involve young people, but they participate in these institutions, but at the same time the elders are there guiding them, mentoring them, and they're giving them experience. So I'm saying, let's invest in education, and the education that is taking our nations to the modern world. Artificial intelligence, digital education. Jobs are being lost to automation now. If our young people do not get the correct education, they have no place in the job markets. Even cars now don't have drivers. You just order a car through Uber. A car comes there. You look inside, there is nobody. But you just enter, the car has already been programmed. They will take it. The car will take you to where you are going. So you can see drivers will lose jobs. Yes. Now a lot of the work or that is being done by accountants is done by machines. So there is so much that is going lost. How do we prepare our young people now to be able to have a place by 2050? That's another important thing. So there's a lot that we've got to do. Countries have to sit down and think how to groom their young population. Give them the skills that are going to make them thrive in the world, but also make them responsible citizens, responsible and productive citizens in society. That's a responsibility for those of us who are in leadership to be able to do.
It's Masunga John. Please subscribe for more videos. Bye for today.